The first library, and what we consider the central library in Anambra State, was built in 1967. 66. I know that very well. Honorable Minister, it's one of those things that I cannot forget. The reason why I said so, I was in primary 2 when that library was commissioned, and the late and our own General Dumego Ojukwu came to commission it with a helicopter. Probably my first time of seeing plane. So we had to run from our school in Santa Maria to go and welcome him in the then police barracks in Onitsha. So from 1966 till this government came into being, no government has built a new functional library. And even that one was in a state of disrepair. I recall coming into Onitsha. I don't think, Director, you're not the one in charge of that. Because I remember coming into Onitsha one day and decided as a governor to stop at the library. Honorable Minister, all the workers and everybody started running away. Everybody was wondering what is the governor coming to do in the library. And I said I came to inspect it. The newspapers and the books I found there were in the 70s. And I decided to rebuild that place and immediately initiated and commenced that we must build a new functional library in Oka. And we commenced this work. When we finished, we named it after Kenedike. Professor Kenedike, when we were talking about Anambra people this morning, Professor Kenedike is the first black vice chancellor in Africa, not in Nigeria. He was the first vice chancellor, Nigerian vice chancellor of University of Ibadan. But then he was the first one in the entire Africa. We named this library after him. Has been completed. It's an e-library equipped with computers and everything. But unfortunately, we found out after we've done the landscaping during rainy season that this place became waterlogged. Up to you can see up to the first, even to here. So we started looking for what was the problem. The problem was because after walling here and everything, there was no water exit, and even if the water go out, there's nothing that will take the water into the stream. So we stopped the commissioning and everything and decided to do the road first. Like I said before, that road had been awarded to the same contractor, because the road, who did very good contract, who did this, so it's commencing that, and like I've told the director now, you will see the difference. Even the 2 vehicles they own, which are using on time, this is the first vehicle they ever saw since Anambra State was created. Nobody even bought them tire or even remember there was a library. But then these 2 vehicles, we're already trying to buy more with the opening of this place, but because it was stopped, we decided, let's finish the road, then come back and finish what we're doing here. And Commissioner can confirm that I gave him about 100 million for this library just 2 weeks ago when I said, keep giving everything in the account until we finish with the road. Then we'll come back quickly and do whatever is possible to ensure that this library is up and running. The Director of Library can make your comment now.
Thank you very much, sir. His Excellency. Like my governor has said, this is the first library in the state since 1966. In the library, we have a space for lending section, Nigeriana section, children's section, reference section. Then the e-library, already we have around 50 computers, but we hope to get around 70 more. Then we are fashioning it in a way that when anybody comes in, you don't have to go in to start browsing the shelves and so on. We'll have 2 systems at the door there so that you can come in and know what we have and the section that you can find it in and so on. Then you can go to that place. Thank you. Okay. Okay, like I said, we are going to have a lending section, reference section, Nigeriana, because we want a situation where researchers, when they are doing their researches, they can have a Nigerian background so that it will be relevant to us. Then we also have a children's section. Then we have the e-library that is upstairs. And already we have 52 computers, and we hope to get 70 more. And the way that we are going about it, my commissioner, is going to be fashioned in a way that it won't be overcrowded, because we also have a mini auditorium upstairs where people can go to when there is an overflow of readers and so on. Thank you.
Well, His Excellency have said it all, and I don't want to break protocol. I confirm all that he has said. He's a memorable person. He's already said that this library is named after Kennedy Dike, the first black African chancellor, vice chancellor of a university, in fact, University of Ibadan. It might be instrumental also to inform you that the first gold medalist in 1924 came from this town, that is Omumere, who won a gold medal in the British Empire for goldsmithing. That's for what Oka is known. So we're trying to replicate all the relevancies so that Nigeria becomes a proud nation. Thank you.
Sir, my question, Yahya Omar again, Radio Nigeria. A while ago when we were coming to this place, we posted the picture of this place on the net. So in the bus, a student of Anambra in Cape Verde, quickly tweeted that we should please not reserve this question for the forum. That please, we should quickly ask you, please, it's a beautiful project, but they have not seen any plans for recreation, because children will be coming here, as Madam affirmed here, that they need to have recreation because all work and no play, you know. So I don't know that he wants to know the plan for these children when they come, so that when they read a bit, they can play a little bit and go back again.
The governor has already stated that the landscaping is about to take place. We have an outdoor space for them to recreate for the minors. So it's quite in place in the landscaping design.
Your Excellency, my name is Shagun Lawole. I report for NTA. Now, I don't know if you have the opportunity of going inside and see some of these facilities for television's sake. My Honourable Minister, sir, if you take a building and we say you have these much facilities, sir, we are subjecting ourselves to criticism. People will say we only see buildings. What do you have in the buildings, and you are saying you have this, you have that. That's just the reason, sir.
Well, I think you entered into the hospital, and because today is public holidays, it is unfortunate, because like when you went to the secretariat, that secretariat is fully occupied. Yeah, you would have gone in. You know, it wasn't me who created the public holidays. I didn't declare public holidays. I was just here and they declared it. So if you want tomorrow, I assure you, in fact, it would be nice for you to go to that secretariat tomorrow. You wouldn't have seen road to enter that place. Every place would have been off-field. And the same thing here and everywhere. I'm sure Madam came today because we had to plead with them to come. In fact, let me tell you, Honourable Minister, one of the things people said, you know, I told you they said you're coming today. One of the things the people they were saying, oh, it's public holidays, why don't we beg ministers and these people not to come? I said, somebody's coming to you people to see what you're doing. You're already giving him date to come. They've scheduled, in fact, Honourable Minister kept arguing in ESCO that this thing is scheduled, it cannot be changed. If you don't want, and we're arguing and say, but it's public holidays, they declared it is aware of that. Let them give us another day. But we're here. We assure you that you can come back tomorrow and see all this on Monday, even at our expense.
Your Excellency, let me say this. Part of the reason why we're not moving is we have so many projects to see today. There are more than 11.
Only 11?
I said there are more, about 19 projects that we have to see today, including federal and state projects. So there is a minimal time we can take on every premise. I agree that maybe once in a while, when we have access, because it's a public holiday, we will go in. But definitely our time is very, very tight. Even at that 19, I don't know how many we'll be able to cover. Is it open? Is it open?
30 years, there's been no, sorry? I'm an artist, my mathematics is dodgy, but yeah, over, yes, no new library brought to life in this space. That really, we can describe those years as the years that the locusts have eaten. So there is really much work that needs to be done here to bring that kind of enthusiasm for knowledge and reading and for the life of the imagination, to bring that back in this state. So I would urge the State Education Board and the Honorable Commissioner of Education to, as much as possible, sign up to Mr. President's Bring Back the Book campaign. Also commenting as a literary critic and a writer in my own right, I would like to urge that this building really needs to be what we would call a livable space. There needs to be a lot of activity to bring people of all ages here, to make the community part of this space. You need to partner with the Association of Nigerian Authors in Anambra State. There's a chapter in every state to organize reading competitions, spelling competitions, literary competitions, poetry competitions, and even encourage new writers and writing to come forward in this space. Thank you very much.
Let me honor you, Minister. Honorable Minister, let me thank my dear sister for her comment. My dear sister, let me tell you what we've been able to do, and this is on record. This state last year have paid for every single secondary school to establish a library by giving them direct check. So if you go to every secondary school, for the past 4 years, we've been doing writing competition, and every year, annually, those who won are given prizes ranging from 50,000 to 100,000, and there's been a lot of children books, written books, and everything. On Monday, I told you that annually we hold town hall meeting with children. All the children that came for a town hall meeting on Monday, that occasion was chaired by one of our best writers, Professor Ike of WAEC. And there we gave them, every child that came there left with a book from the government for reading. So for all what you said, we've been doing, and now that you've told us that we can even key into the presidency one, which I'm sure you're going to support us with, we're going to aggressively drive it. Even in this library, behind it is a Cisco Academy, fully being run by Cisco. In Onitsha, we have Microsoft Academy, all with over different computers, not the computers you saw here. The Cisco Academy has its own almost at certain computers, so is Microsoft Academy in Onitsha. So we're changing, and you know, like I keep saying before, you said it, if such a facility or project has not been executed in 50 years, overnight you can't do everything. With the small resources, we are trying to recreate the whole place. But I assure you that your comments is well taken. We have a library, director of library studies that is quite, I can say, committed to this human loves our work and doing it with every joy and all that. And what we all need is support. And I can tell you, she will go to any extent to get any book or anything that is required. So we thank you for your comment, and I assure you of our commitment. Thank you. We've now completed this bridge. Your Lordship. We decided to construct this bridge we've completed this bridge now. And not just that we constructed this bridge, every means that if you go further here, we built from the scratch College of Agriculture that is awarding OND and National Diploma from the scratch. There was not existence before. If you go further, having finished this bridge now, we are now procuring this road all through to a place called Achala, which is the local government quarters of this area at a cost of almost 2 billion naira. The road is ongoing now. This road, with this bridge now, the people of this area can no longer. The traditional ruler here is Igwe of Opuno. Opuno is all this area where we're coming from, behind Central Bank, and everything. We are working in virtually every part of his community. That's what we're doing. And maybe even the bishop. This is the Catholic Bishop of Oka. He has a very big school here, seminary, everything. And when I mean Oka, Oka is the area of his diocese stretches up to Ekulabia, Uguamba, everywhere. Fuma is a vast area. Maybe both the traditional ruler and the bishop can make their comments about what we're doing in this area. My Lord Bishop.
Yeah, just like His Excellency has said, we are welcome. I was once rector of our seminary here in Isuani Ocha before I became a bishop. And I know the difficulties we are having to cross down here. And I still go there because I have other facilities, so many parishes and churches over there. So the road here has been terrible. Many a time we had to stop our vehicle, take Okada and other things to transport. Now you look at this bridge, is one of them. I'm living in Opuno area, precisely, even though I'm in Oka town. The development over there, the roads, everything is opened up now. And we could see really the dividend of democracy, because the government is touching the people. You go to the schools. I don't know what you have done before, but if you come to the schools, all of them returned, and the government is assisting now to bring these schools to first-class standard. And so now you can see good competition. I hope you'll be able to touch it. Every school is kind of resurrecting now. The structures went down entirely, but now you see them one by one. So I can say we are very happy with the government, because they are here. We see what you call the church and the state working, the state and the church working together, because it's necessary. Because the two must work together in order to deliver. The government alone cannot do it, as far as it concerns the society, neither the church. So we are very happy, and the progress is high. That is why when they say they are coming here, I say, let me come and be here, because this is the road I have been in captivity for a long time through this way. And now people are moving. Just look at it. It is not a question. We are just being frank. We are just being frank, and we thank the government and everybody. And I'm happy you are coming, because this will help the government. Because this question of going to the spot to see things for ourselves helps, because many a time you're up there. The people are telling lies, and they say Yamak. Now you come and have IMAC. You see them yourself. So when you go back, you can report, because we are here in the community and we see everything. And so we are very happy. In fact, I'm thanking the president for making this provision that you go and see the things that are being done, because it will help you to know what is next to be done. Because if you stay there are many psychophants. They say so many beautiful things they want you to hear, but on the spot nothing is happening. We are on the spot and we see them. So I thank the government, I thank the governor, everybody. We are happy with the government and what is happening, and we believe if we continue to develop this way, very soon our state, and I believe the entire Nigeria, will be another London. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I love you.
I want to say welcome to the Honorable Minister for coming here. Honestly, this is the best thing that has happened to Nigeria. For the federal government to go around and see what is happening. Not, as my Lord said, earmarking, but also earmarking. I would say that His Excellency has done a lot of things for us here. During rainy season, I normally have unwanted visitors in my house. What happens? When it rains, nobody will pass through here. And my house will be a resting place for all of them. Many have slept here till the next day when the water will recede. So I thank him very much. This bridge was damaged during the war, about 40 years ago, or 40-something years ago. And successive governments have failed to do something about it. But when he came, we cried to him. This this is a bridge joining Oka North and South. And Oka North is the food basket of Anambra State. And if nothing is done, we are going to be losing a lot of things. So he came and built this bridge. And since then, things have moved smoothly. As you can see, all of you can see. Vehicles are passing, human traffic is passing, and we are grateful. It's not only this he has done. There's another bridge, the other side. That is not Umuadu Bridge. In the same Apuno here. Yes. Umuadu Bridge. We cried to him. Say, we have a secondary school, Tans International Secondary School, just across there. And people come from all parts of Nigeria to read there. When they come, they cannot pass. They have to anchor their vehicle, the other side, and trek across. And he came, he did it. He's not as beautiful as this one, because it's joining a village. This is joining 2 local governments. But it's a solid work, done at a record time. So we thank you very much. We thank the governor and his team for the good job they are doing. And we want to solicit that as time comes, when he may hand over, he has to find somebody, yes, who can take over appropriately. Because if we don't get anybody who can take over appropriately, it means that the whole thing he has, the foundation he laid, will go to blazes. So thank you very much, Governor, and may God bless you.
Commissioner for Works, do you have any? Works Commissioner, do you have
Yes, let's see. The Honorable Minister. Like His Excellency said, the Minister of Works is the heartbeat of development in Anambra State, and in fact in Nigeria. The idea was to open up the hinterlands. Like they said, this area is one of the major food baskets of the state. The other bridge you're talking about at Amansi is another access. There is one we will go tomorrow. These are going to the rural and farming areas of this state. There's one at Obaru. That area is another food basket area. So apart from servicing the urban areas and networking the rural communities, bringing them into the urban areas, the government has really worked hard at the least minimum cost we can achieve. Because when we hear of budgets being done for roads and bridges, in Nigeria, and we know what we used to achieve this thing. This thing was done for about 220 million naira. Both the bridge and these adjacent roads, they're done for 220 million naira. And you can imagine that if we are doing in some areas, you can't achieve this in 1 billion naira. And we thank the governor and the government for giving the ministry that opportunity to serve the people. And we are doing that appropriately, and we thank you for this visit.
Questions? Maybe one or two? No questions, very well. Well, Your Royal Highness, my Lord the Bishop, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. First, we have had testimonies from the paramount ruler of this kingdom, and of course from the Catholic Bishop of Oka. And these are very, very strong voices, and none of them has any reason to patronize the governor if they believe that he's not doing well. And I'm a Catholic, so I know how the bishops have been speaking out in recent times. So this is not a place for us to make our confessions, but let me say that, my Lord, that we're on this journey because we believe strongly that democracy is the best form of government. You see, for 40 years, this bridge came down.
in a war created by soldiers. Because if they didn't bring down the First Republic, Okpara could have built more bridges than all the other people that came after that. So for almost another 40 years, our development was suspended. We went to a library now, and we were told that since 1966, this is the only second library that's been built in Oka. And this is the reason why we are stepping out, so that Nigerians will see. Democracy may be quarrelsome because people are competing for elections, but it's the best form of government. It's the best form of government, and it continues to deliver services. Question of succession. The gate to succession is what the president is doing. In a democracy, it's not like a traditional institution, so there is no entitlement to succession. But the president is now perfecting the electoral system. And that is the education that our royal fathers, our churches can take to the grassroots. What the president is saying is nobody will succeed P2B until the people elect him. That's it. So the people already know the quality of work he has done. It is left for them to assess those who are now, who have been seen ahead, who are now coming with those posters on the walls. Look at them. Look at what has been done before. Which of them has the pedigree, the commitment, the vision, the capacity to do better than P2B. Because the idea is to elect people who are better than those who are serving now. And the president has given back that power back to the people. No more rigging. No more, because if it's left to people, maybe he will not be the one to be the governor now. But because the masses now have a say, and the president reform program, electoral reform program is even better than all the infrastructure we're building. Because unless democracy enables people to choose those who will lead them, then in the end, better people who don't have money, who maybe don't have access and the connection, may never be able to lead. So what we are doing now is that the president has returned that question back to the people. Look at what is being done in your state, elect the best people. And the last one is for prayer. The bishop is here, is to continue to pray for peace, for security, and once these things are there, Your Royal Highness, I am sure that democracy will produce better leaders from generation to generation. That is why we are out. Thank you very much.
The VC will take over. Again, sure you are getting bored of my normal introduction. When I became the governor of Anambra State, this university, Anambra State University, was formerly supposed to be here, but was because of the governor then, it was moved. The headquarters or the college permanent site was in Uli. Built the university in Soka, not in Onitsha. Awolowo did the same thing in Ife, not in Ikene. And Ahmadu Bello built in Zaria, not in Sokoto. It is time that we do things in an organized manner here. Since this school was meant to be in Ibariam, let's now create Ibariam campus and take it back to Ibariam. Honorable Minister, I acquired this land. I will show you what I did first. I acquired this land, asked them to fence it, and go and look for a master plan of what the university should be. I brought about 12 architects. Asked them to go around universities in Nigeria and West Africa. They went to even Ghana to see what the university should be, do the proper master plan. In the meantime, we started the university from there. There's a building, even faculty of law and everything that I said I built because we were trying to shut them. I built it there, but I said, let's start there. When we are ready and move everybody over here, we can just use that to do a first-class secondary school institution. So what you're seeing here was the land I acquired, fenced, with a clear master plan, we started building the university. You can see we just finished the Senate building. Built 3 times what their son could not build in the place, even when he took the university there. So if you go there, it's a change place, and we're still doing this. And we have other faculties that are going to come here. So this is our university. DVC.
Your Excellencies, the Honorable Minister, our amiable Governor, Your Excellency the Minister, what you are beholding used to be a jungle, a thick forest in a Wariam where nobody dared to come. Littered by so many dangerous animals before the governor came. This land is not just what we are looking at the right side. By the left side of this road is almost an interminable expanse of land bordering a town called Nandu. I say it with authority that no university in Nigeria would have acquired as much land as this. Our problem is too much land. This governor is a blessing to the state, but I speak in the area where I'm concerned, that is education. I am a professor of the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. Since the inception of this administration, every area of education is touched. Every area. But I can talk about university education in particular. At Uli, we have faculties of engineering, faculties of sciences, environmental sciences, and education. All the departments in these faculties are fully accredited. That is because the facilities are in place. And as he rightly pointed out, at Uli, we lack the space to do what we are supposed to do. Let me recall that by intervention and contact of our governor, this university was or is a beneficiary of special impact intervention by TED Fund, worth 3 billion naira. And by the time we sink 3 billion naira in this university, the difference will be clear. Already network road is going on, as you can see. Behind you, in fact, some students are waiting. They know you are coming, that people are coming, and they said they are going to come and say welcome to you. They are down there in the Faculty of Engineering, but I doubt if you have time to see them. So, the Honorable Minister, I don't know how much time you have, and I don't want to bore you with all the details, but suffice it to say that we have had it so good in education. The population of this university has also increased. And because of the developments that people are witnessing, this year we had over 40,000 students who applied for admission into this university. And we can only absorb about 4,000. So that is the situation. So I want, on behalf of the governor, also to thank you for coming to our university. It's an honor, it's a pleasure, and if you have more time, you can see some things for yourselves. There's another campus, not campus, but a part of this university, the other side, as big as this one. So thank you, the Honorable Minister. Thank you. My name is Professor Fidelis Uzochukwu Okafor. Thank you, the Honorable Minister. The name of this area is Ibariam, and you recall many years when we had fan settlement, Ibariam fan settlement, in the 60s and all that. Exactly, plantation, yes. So any university that is looking for land, we can give them some. Yes.
It's Bala Moses John. My name is Bala Moses John. I think we would like to hear what is the projected time that they feel this campus can be fixed so that the student will be relocated here. And with the explanation he gave of having so many people applying, what will also be the plan to see that you are expand in such a way that you give more people the opportunity to be admitted?
Let me start. We're not going to relocate the people. The other university is there. It's not the other campus. And what we did is that the campus that was supposed to have started by my predecessor will stop. So we now have Uli and the Ibariam. So that campus is up and running and functional. And this one is up and running and functional. The students are there. We're only building a better infrastructure, permanent infrastructure for them. The faculty of laws are there, graduating people, and faculty of mass comm, everything, they are there, graduating students. But what we're doing here is trying to build a first-class infrastructure to meet the time and everything. Otherwise, it's up and running. That's why we're taking the landscape and everything. We have here, if you go down, Minister, see artificial lakes, all this and all that. Just to say that if anybody wants to go to London in future, you can come here and see that the same thing is seen there is here.
So, sir, are you planning to relocate to make this place the permanent site after the completion?
My name is Ekechukwu Anslem, Project Monitoring and Evaluation, National Planning Commission. I've read in papers before about Anambra State University. You are concentrating on the structures, giving befitting structures for the university, that's fine. But I read about situations where you are lack in the faculties, situations where masters holders, head departments, that HODs in this university is not welcoming. What do you have to say about that, Mr. Prof?
Let me answer you. This university won engineering best prize in the whole world. So I don't know where. You see, it's not a question of reading. Go to the department and see. This is one of the most sought after university in this country today, even when we haven't finished. And we know what we're doing. Yeah. And I can assure you of that. Let the VCS go to engineering competition. We won first in this country. We won first in the entire world. It was contested in London. You must have seen it. Students from our engineering faculty. It's there. It's recorded. It's not a hidden thing. It's just like Unigwe now coming to win LNG prize from Osuka. It's there. It's recorded.
His Excellency has answered you very well, talking about the international engineering competition that our students won. It is a fact. That competition took place in the heart of London, and they took first position, and after that the judges were surprised and they took them into an inner chamber to interview them further in case they had done this with juju. But they came out with more impressions that they would have even scored higher marks that kept them first position. These are facts. Our lecturers are all over the world doing various programs to acquire their PhDs and all that. They go for conference and all that. So this university, in terms of staff, in terms of students, I think the light of the nation, which this state is actually what we are trying to be. Thank you very much.
Well, last one.
My name is Lawal Ahmed from NTA. Now, having said all this about this university, sir, I'm very happy for you and I congratulate you so very well. But my concern here is that universities are known by their ranking among other universities in the world. What's the ranking of this university in Nigeria, in Africa, and the world?
I think you'll begin to talk about the ranking of Nigerian universities in the world. Because even in Africa, and this is where we are talking about more interventions, and this is what we are doing here in Anambra State University, because all these are parts and parcels of what makes a university to rank high. And the ranking is in keeping with the ranking of Nigerian universities in the world. If we are talking about the ranking in Nigeria, that's a different thing altogether. But in the ranking of the world, Nigerian ranking is what Anambra State stands for in the whole world.
Let me help you with the issue of ranking. When I was the chairman of Fidelity Bank, people used to approach me and say, what is the ranking of this bank globally? And I told them that our problem is not ranking. Our problem is to serve Nigerians and make sure that when they pay him money, when they come to collect it, we will give them back their money. Not ranking in the world, because all those who were ranked well in the world collapsed. But those who were not ranked provided services. What we are saying is, let's educate our people properly and leave rank first. Because we're not in ranking business. And that is the way I see it. In the way we can provide the services. All the banks that were ranked well collapsed. Union Bank and others who were ranked well, the Intercontinental, they collapsed. But the ones who they all collapsed. So what is important is that you put your money here, you come and pay, and say they leave ranking. So for me, let them teach Nigerians on to be good and serve Nigerian well and leave the global ranking. They are not in ranking business. They are in business of making sure that people are well educated.
No. Our Vice Chancellor, Professor Kafo, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me commend you for being a statesman. One of the deficiencies of the leadership we have had in the recent past, particularly after the height attained by the First Republic, has been that all of us now have become villagers. Development. People are not thinking beyond their villages. They don't look at the global picture. And because of this, we have tried to reduce ourselves to the level of the village, and our vision, our capacity has been humbled to that level. If you take around the last 10, 15, 20 years, every person that became somebody wanted something in his village. No matter how remote, whether that village was good, whether it had the facilities or was central, everybody returned to the village. And the story of Anambra University is the best example of this idea of thinking that our villages are the only places we can do things when we become leaders. And it is very wrong. Very, very wrong. And that is why we will commend you for returning this university to its original site. To its original site. Once you become a governor, the whole state is your village. Once you become a president, the whole country is your village. You no longer can think as if you're a micro leader. So what we have done here is a good example, returning leadership to that height of looking at what is best for your state, not what is best for your village or yourself. And I think for me, this is a good judgment that you have done here. The second thing is the vision to acquire sufficient land for the university. Because a university is something that will grow for generations. It's not for today, it's for the future. This is what Ahmadu Bello did. he came to Zaria and got a large expanse of land for the university. If you go to Nsukka or Ife, you know, all those universities, you go Ibadan, you see that they have sufficient land for expansion, because we don't know what will be the need of people in the next 50, 100, 200 years. So it is good to look ahead. And it's also good to plan, which is why you say you had to go around and undertake a survey with the technical experts. What kind of structure do you want in this university? Which is again what the first generation universities look like. That's why Olo was able to build the most beautiful university campus in Africa, including South Africa. Ife was in its own right the most beautiful. Zik had to turn Nsukka into the haven for anybody that wants to do journalism. Something that will beat the University of Columbia that he went to do journalism education. Now we're returning to that rank with democracy. We want to commend you, but even more for the work you are doing at the primary and secondary school level. When people talk of ranking is informed by the quality of people coming to the university. So, and what is being done all over is to pay attention to primary and secondary schools, which is what the federal government, the state governments are doing. Additional funding through University Basic Education Board, through TET Fund, trying to create infrastructure. Recently, the president received the joint ASU-NUC report on our universities across the country. And what the president has done was to present that report to the National Economic Council in order that we will come together to create the synergy that will generate resources from the private sector and from the public sector to provide new infrastructure for the university system and tertiary education to upgrade the facilities that we have now. A lot of interventions are going on. You went to Futo last 2 days and you saw the work that we're doing there. You went to Alpha Nekoko College of Education at Owerri. You saw what was happening. You went to University of Jos. You saw the interventions that are going on in all those places. And those interventions are all over the country. So, working with state governments, I believe we can continuously increase not just infrastructure, but the quality of instruction. You know, and when a university that is not ranked will go to London and beat Oxford and beat Harvard and beat all the universities in engineering, then let me tell you that this question of ranking is not the issue. Hardly any so-called rank teams win the World Cup. It's people who just go and they put in their best. So some of this global ranking, people just use it for politics. In reality, the university is what the people there make it to be. I want to congratulate you for your global victory, especially in engineering. You know, from Africa, people just think we're only capable of literature or something, not fundamental sciences and engineering. Now from here, you have gone to the world and you came #1. That is the kind of ranking we're looking for, that we can go and compete with people around the world and beat them. That is this tradition. So we want to thank you for what we have seen here. Continue the good effort as far as I'm concerned. And for the professor and the lecturers, the most important thing about public university today is stability of the academic career. The academic calendar has been so disrupted, you know, continuously, sometimes because of strikes and so on. And those things have really brought down the university system. When you close a school for 6 months, you come back, it's not the same school anymore. It's gone down. So we must do everything possible to make sure that the children come into school and graduate 4 years after, or 5 years, depending on the courses. And the federal government is working around the clock with everyone to ensure that we have stability in the educational calendar. I want to thank all of us, and I believe this is the future of Anambra State. Let's continue to build on it.
Okay, thank you once again. The silo complex comprises of 10 storage bins of 2,500 metric tons capacity, totaling 25,000 metric ton storage capacity. there are other equipment that support the system, starting from the grain cleaning equipment, the grain drying equipment, and then all the handling equipment that move the grain around. We also have a bagging plant inside the warehouse over there, and ancillary buildings that support the activities. We hope to be completing, or scheduled to be completing, at the end of April, by God's grace. And well, we are at about 70% completion milestone stage. We still have the grain handling equipment to install, and a few ancillary buildings or supporting equipment to install. Total site is 225 meters by 200 meters by 200 meters, and we have 18,000 square meters of concrete pavement to do, which we've done about 13,000 of it. So that's in a nutshell. Thank you.
Well, Your Excellency, the Governor of Anambra State, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, first of all, let me seize this opportunity to give a little background about what we're doing in agriculture. The strategic grain silos are being constructed all over the country to ensure that Nigeria has in its grain reserves sufficient food that can last this country a long while, even in terms of national emergencies. You will notice that this year, during the flood disaster, we had to go to our strategic grains reserves to make food available to some of the areas that were affected. The purpose of grain reserves are for a nation's food security. A nation can come under disaster, can come under drought, it could come in different ways. It could be war, in some instances leading to food insecurity. So in the case of Nigeria, what we have been trying to do is to ensure that we increase our capacity to preserve grains. Also, sometimes these grains are used for price stability. When occasionally we have a situation where food inflation is reaching a point where ordinary citizens will find it difficult to have access to quality food, government could release grains from its strategic reserve to intervene in the market. So it serves different purposes in our own management of food security. But agriculture now is witnessing a big revolution. Can they ask that woman to lower her voice? Agriculture is undergoing a very big revolution in the country right now. As I speak to you, the Minister of Agriculture, Dr. Additional, is in Davos. They made a request this year for Nigeria to make a presentation of our own new agricultural transformation program to the World Economic Forum. This is because the new policy changes in agriculture that have been brought on board under President Goodluck Jonathan, which have been thoroughly discussed at the National Economic Management team, as well as the Economic Management Implementation team. We have unveiled a new agricultural policy that has taken agriculture away from hoe and cutlass agriculture to a new phase in which the private sector will drive agriculture. Agriculture is now going as a business, no longer just farming. And because of this, the entire agricultural chain has undergone a lot of transformation, from cropping to preservation, processing, and marketing. Government is undertaking a comprehensive policy review, which is making it possible now for large-scale agriculture as well as small-scale agriculture to follow the principle of modernization. This policy, which Nigeria has started, has attracted the attention of the world, and because of this, a lot of investment is coming into agriculture. Between now and 2015, we target to create about 3.5 million jobs in the area of agriculture alone. And recently, when we reviewed the performance of the agricultural policy in the last 1.5 years, we have already attained something in the region of 2 million jobs. You won't understand this until you go to various places in cocoa production, vegetable production from Kano, rice production in Taraba, in all the here at Ebonyi and several other places, you won't understand what is going on until you really begin to visit some of those places. And when we are out on this tour, we'll also be visiting some of those agricultural interventions. We are also transforming seed supply in agriculture and services. Extension services are being modernized. This year, government distributed millions and millions of seedlings free of charge to farmers. Cocoa, oil palm, and all the key cash crops. We are making intervention in them. We have also categorized the country for strategic crops, like the Northeast. We are thinking of growing sorghum. And the new seeds that have been produced have sometimes quadrupled the harvest per acre, yield per acre. This is going on. And we are also fixing the commercial aspect, creating synergy that will give us new marketing buzz driven by the private sector, so that farmers that produce will be sure that their crops, their yield, their produce will be sold at a profit for them to continue. So in addition to the new phase you saw in fertilizer distribution, which has gone back to the private sector, because before now, you won't see fertilizer until government has released from its own strategic reserves. That is no longer going to be so. And the fertilizer government was supplying was bad fertilizer. 11% of the farmers get fertilizers, others don't. And 50% of that fertilizer is waste. It's not good product, sometimes mixed with sand. Now, private sector is driving the sales of fertilizer. In the future, anywhere you go, you will see a bag of fertilizer like you want to buy Coke or Panadol. It should always be there, and farmers will have access to them. So our subsidy is now going directly to farmers through the electronic wallet system that has been established by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, where farmers can use handset to access their products at 50% subsidy. So these systems have been put in place, and I want to reassure this country that what the president is doing in agriculture for us, is most significant, because our country is a country of a large population. Majority of the people depend on agriculture. So we need to go back to agriculture to generate jobs, create food security, economic growth. Presently, economic growth is being led by agriculture and other non-oil sector products. And that is the way to go. We have recently gotten a quota of about 1.5 million metric tons of cassava to be exported to China. And we're expecting rice sufficiency in rice production by 2015. And government is investing part of the Shore P program in developing rice farms to ensure that this country becomes self-sufficient. In addition to the various mills we're establishing, cassava processing mills, rice processing mills that are being established in the country through private sector intervention, working together with government. So agriculture is a huge program, and these grain silos that you see are virtually all over the country, going on all over the country. So if you have questions, you may ask, but definitely the president is facing agriculture squarely for the first time, and definitely was succeeding because it's a deliberate policy. And like I made a point at Owerri, this president will go down as the one that has brought about a plan for national transformation, not just looking at one sector and intervening in feed and starts, but deliberate plan, that is going to lead to absolute, encouragement, private sector driven economic development. So if you have questions, you may ask.
I'm Mazuko from Ney Africa Civil Society. Please, the management of these silos, I want to know the preservation lifespan of the grains here and how they, and how they could be released, because sometimes we used to have food contamination, beans and rice, sometimes released into the market. We don't know the source, we don't know the type of care the consuming public will have to take. Are they likely to rely on this type of silos preserved by government or to buy from outside? Thank you.
These are contractors that are working. I'll try to provide the answers I can provide.
Thank you. Honorable Minister, all protocols observed. Please, you said that governments usually provide farming inputs
to farmers. How does government itself supervise this distribution? Because there are cases when farmers complain that these inputs do not get to them, including seedlings and fertilizers. They said even if they want to get it, they have to buy it at exorbitant rates from maybe middlemen. Thank you.
I'm Dr. Emeka Abasi. Just from the sheer size of this outfit, I want to ask where or what will be the source of the grains that will be stored in this Anambra, because the population is much, and I don't know whether the farmers here are they really going to be able to produce enough either rice or whatever grains that will be stored here, or are we planning to import from outside? That's my own puzzle.
Well, first of all, to answer the last question, maybe we'll go in reverse order. You don't really know the kind of food produced in this country annually. And part of the reasons why we're having these reserves is that most of the time our farmers are forced to sell at the beginning of harvest season because there are no strategic reserves, no preservation capacities. Now, what we're doing here is that, every year government buys a lot of grains, and these grains are bought and stored in these silos all over the country. I do not know I'm not from Minister of Agriculture, I don't know where the immediate, I don't know whether these grains are going to come from Anambra. I don't know the production capacity of Anambra farmers. But I can tell you that you'll be shocked that West Africa depends on Nigeria for food. You go to Chad, you go to Niger Republic, you go to Benin. It's here they buy their grains. Nigeria has a huge capacity. So the grains will be bought from Nigerian farmers, mainly during harvest season and stored here. And it is, like I said, to stabilize prices, increase income for farmers. And when there is food inflation, we release strategic grains to bring down the cost for the people. And when there are emergencies, we can intervene. So that is why these are being built. And we will have enough grains within the country to fill all these silos and leave enough in the market for the people to buy. There are also private food storage houses where traders buy their own grains and store and sell. Now, some of the contamination you are talking about, mainly comes from such private stores. Here, you have experts who will test everything that goes here. Okay, thank you.
Yes, well, the question you asked is actually the very reason you have facilities like this. Right from the time they come from the farmers, the grains are cleaned. Thank you. Okay. Right from the time the grains come from the farm, the grains are cleaned. They are dried to specified moisture content where they would not be able to be infected. And then they are carefully handled into the grain bins, where you have aeration fans that automatically start every now and then when the moisture content goes up or it goes too low. So that's part of the mechanism that keeps the grains in the right condition for you to sell at any time.
I don't know where you got your information about farmers not getting the seedlings we are distributing free to the public and inputs. Yes, some of the inputs are bought by farmers at subsidized rate, but the seeds we are distributing, cotton seeds, cocoa seeds, rice seeds, sorghum, and they are all distributed free through farmer cooperatives. So those ones, they know their cooperative, they go there, they get the seeds, we distribute them free to the farmers. And they have been having access because we have seen the acres and acres of land planted with these new seeds. So we have a way of reaching the farmers through their own cooperatives. Yeah, why not? That's why.
The federal government, through the ATA is the Agricultural Transformation Agenda, has eliminated the middleman in everything they are doing. Before, you will see that fertilizer, when it's allocated to a state, you see it in another state, people sell the government fertilizers in the market. Now we're using private sector, where we have agro dealers registered by government, where farmers go there directly to get their products and farm inputs. Fertilizer, they go there, they pay 50% of the cost of fertilizer. The agro dealer records that somebody has bought 50%, then the government will reimburse the agro dealer the remaining 50%. And farm implements too. But why some farmers don't get it is that those farmers that are not registered, we are advising farmers to come and register. When a farmer is registered, it doesn't cost anything to register, so that when grain comes free, they give it to the registered farmers. Thank you very much.
The Honourable Minister, I just want to plead that because of time and for logistics reasons, we are going to abandon anything Ayamelum, that's Ayamelum and Lower Anambra Irrigation Project. Since we have most of the other projects at Onitsha, it will be necessary daytime. So we...
Well, this contract is about 1.5 billion. Yeah.
Yeah. Hello? So, gentlemen, we are moving from here now to straight to Meata Bridge.